everyone. It's just Rhonda, and I'm not alone. It's not really just me. We got El Cid over here. How's it going, El Cid?
I'm doing well. It's not just Rhonda. I guess, maybe I should leave so your name is authentic.
Well, I see. I don't mean just by myself. I mean just like it's just me. That's it. That's all. It's not like it's just regular Rhonda. That's all. That's all I'm doing over here.
I got you. It's regular El Cid.
Okay. And I don't know if it has the same ring to it, but we'll work on something.
We'll work
It's a
together.
spotlight. It's another spotlight over here at the 7 o'clock sweet spot. I won't sing. Although, like inside, I'm singing, but I won't sing this time. Spotlight is on Rose, ready to love.
Mm,
What'd you say? Rose is still a rose?
a rose is still a rose. Baby girl, you're still a flower.
So I was focusing this time on like the whole meaning behind this, ready to love. And I'm like, Rose has a lot of positive qualities, from what we see, she's not been problematic. So she, not so much. Um, but I like to see like, are they doing what they said they was gonna do when they first got here? We're 6 episodes in. I guess, at some point during 2025 we'll get to the other other 6 episodes. But right now we just want to take a look at Rose. They don't give us a whole lot of Rose. That's how you know she's not really problematic so much unless she shows out like on this other half. So is Rose doing what she came over here, what she said she was gonna do?
Yes, she is, but we're gonna find out a whole lot more to the layers of the rose petals. I mean, she started getting spicy already with Fritz, so we'll see. She's showing up different for Fritz as she is for Hussein on her right. But yeah, mm.
Well, I mean, these are her two connections. I think Fritz, I don't know. You know what's crazy is because Rose walked in here saying, I'm so spiritual. I'm just spiritual. I'm a spiritual girl. That's very important. And then she said, I have a spiritual connection with Fritz. And I'm like, how? What happened in that conversation that their conversation was so spiritual? The polyman.
Polycurious. I have to say polycurious. I probably watch the same poly shows as Fritz is, so we probably on the same accord with that. But I don't know what. I want to know what those conversations are because certainly Shanice is sending him scriptures in the morning, and Rose is talking about how a deep conversation. Yet here we have Coley and I forgot the other one is not having, and Sahara not having copacetic conversations with Fritz. So maybe Rose just sees or just smells the sweet fragrance in everyone.
Well, I feel like she does, and that's the problem. I'm gonna just like break it down. Rose is 38, so I try to feel like what was I doing when I was 38 in terms of I wasn't looking for love. I was like about to have my youngest child. So everybody's in different places, but as far as my career is concerned, I was dead in it. I was in it like for the first time ever. You know how you find your sweet spot, and I was, that's where I was
Mm-hmm.
in terms of she's a hairstylist, so I can relate to what that must feel like. Rose has a great sense of style. I feel like she showed up here and she looks good every single time you see her. She's a natural girl. She's not full of fake eyelashes and bangs and things glued to her forehead. So as far as what you gonna get at the house, she's giving you that and looking beautiful while she's doing it. I feel like most men prefer that, honestly. A
That's what
natural
they
looking
say.
girl.
That's what they say, but their heads turn with the eyelashes too.
They heads turn with the eyelashes, but I also feel like they think the eyelashes is gonna be high maintenance. So, there's a lot of other stuff that goes along with that. So if you're not that guy that wants to be bothered with all that, then be careful with them eyelashes and fingernails and things, because it ain't cheap, especially if it's coming from China. Ooh, it's gonna be some busted situations, huh? I think we're gonna have to figure out what we gonna do with the wig.
Hey, I'm gonna have to take this out and save it.
I'm glad I could handle my own situation by myself. Ooh, anyway. Yeah, I mean, Rose came over here and her goal in life is to get married. So that's a problem for me.
Big problem, because are you going to just marry any schmo just to get it over with?
Well, she did say she'd be looking for her diamonds in the garbage. That's another thing she said that really bothered me. And I was like, why? Why is it that you feel like you need to go to the garbage? What are you likely to find in the garbage? I don't know that there's a whole lot of diamonds in there.
Poor Rose. Yeah, I think she's looking for something that's still a little rough around the edges. But the garbage can ain't quite where you're gonna find it. Or maybe it's on discount. If you find it in the garbage, it's a discounted price rather than finding it in high-end display.
I feel like based on her credentials and assets, she doesn't need to go anywhere near the garbage. She should, you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Is she, you know, because Rose comes across like with this bubbly personality. Again, another one. I feel like it's not real. One thing you could say about Sahara, as wild as she is, I feel like no surprises there. I feel like you're going to get, she giving it to you right then. You're going to know dealing with her, like, I'm not going to do that because something might happen.
I know what I'm going to get.
I know what I'm going to get with Rose. Like, she's smiling and being all, you know, do you like her, do you like her picture this week?
I like the picture, but you know, the nun's habit is a bit much for me because I know she ain't there, you know, all the way there yet, you know.
I mean, she's spiritual, and it's very important that she's dealing with somebody spiritual.
How spiritual is she? That's my thing, because she's going after the man, Mr. Cam there, who ain't got a good relationship with his family. She's family oriented. He ain't got a good relationship with God. She's focused. Yeah.
That's the one she want. That's the one she want. She down in the garbage, trying to put the pressure. And I'm not calling the man garbage, like, you know, because I feel like he's one being very honest with her about where he's coming from. He's not saying one thing. Hussein, I like Hussein, but I feel like he just says whatever. It's not really like every girl that he's went out with by the end of the night, she's at the top of the list. Like, oh yeah, I went out with Sally and she was great. And Barbara, well, I really like her too. So does he like Rose? Because like I said before, it don't seem like he's been putting any pressure.
She's been putting pressure on Cam though, you know. As you said, Cam is very honest with her, and I don't know if she's lying to herself, but we know he isn't lying to her, at least for Cam. Hussein, yeah, he goes wherever the wind blows. He's very polite and nice to everybody. Everybody's good except for Deanna. Everybody's good in his eyes. So I don't know. Is he honestly telling folks that, you know, your lifestyle really isn't for me?
I don't think he knows what he wants. I think he's like, it's cool. And I think that's kind of what Deanna was getting. Like, you, with these two, they had this conversation in the beginning and we were like, oh, they like the same things. They're both creative. He's tall. She needs somebody to reach things from on her top cabinet. I don't know about his spirituality because, you know, they could be cutting it out. I'm not going to say, you know, whether it was a conversation that they had, but it's not one that we've seen. So are you asking different questions to different people? Because I feel like the spiritual question came up with everyone except Hussein.
Right. Mm-hmm. You're correct. I didn't hear that question. We talked about being raised in foster care. We talked about more, you know, having more children, but we didn't get that part of the conversation since she said it was so important to her.
Another thing, too, I didn't catch it. Like, I don't know why in the beginning, but her son is 17. I don't know why in my head I had this vision of her with a little boy at home, but she's got a 17-year-old son. So whoever she ends up with won't have any partner raising her son.
Right. And why would you want to go back there and have more? I mean, when I'm thinking about, my youngest is now 18. Last year, heck no, I'm going back there. So that kind of threw me like, wait a minute. I was thinking 10, maybe 12, I was thinking a young child.
No, he's a
So
grown child. I can't.
shoot.
Well, I would obviously not do it now, but my son was 18 and I had a baby the next day. So there's 18 years in between my oldest and my youngest. But I was
Bless you.
38.
Bless you. But bless you. Couldn't be me.
There's one in the middle, you know what I'm saying? But there's 7 years between those two. So
I have a 6-year gap, and that is it.
yeah, my first gap was 12 years. There's 12 years between the first two and 7 years between the last two.
Ooh, bless you. Ooh.
But that being
You're a good
said,
woman.
now, what does that look like? Because now that it's not a little boy, you're bringing this grown man into a household where you got another grown man. So what does that look like? Cam doesn't have any children. So
He doesn't really date folks with kids either.
well, until he got baby fever.
Right. All of a sudden, Rose gave him baby fever. You should have made her a doctor in this one. Yeah, he caught baby fever because of Rose, but it's like she's already had, her son is 17. How is it walking into a household, as you said, with a grown young man that you had no hand in raising?
It's gonna be a different dynamic.
Right, Rose has had all the hand in raising. Plus, we find out, the father of the child is why he's not around.
See what I'm talking about? Now, was he spiritual? I mean, I'm guessing, girl. I don't know. What I do know is I've not heard her have that conversation with Cam. She's never said anything to Cam about being spiritual. And we've seen many dates with them.
Well, she did ask him to.
In the beginning,
Yes.
she did. She didn't have any conversations with him, though, about adopting children. She went into these other conversations talking about miscarriages and adoption. Cam doesn't have any kids, so do you think he's going to want one of his own?
Correct. He would want one of his own loins, but I didn't hear that conversation. The only thing we heard was to pray over the food when we were at dinner. That was it.
And that was like his spiritual past. He prayed over the food. He said, I could give grace. And she said that I knew he had my back. And I'm like, pause. What? How?
And sorry, Cam, that high school prayer is exactly what it is, elementary. And she was all gushing about it. I was like, girl, if you don't sit still.
Well, now that you bring up the father of the child, that I forgot about that. That says something like, what is she doing? Because what's coming out of her mouth is not making sense. I know when I was out still dating, and I told you my last one was at 38. If I met somebody that didn't have any kids, I don't want no part to that. I was, no, I'm not. We might as well don't, because I'm not, and I'm sure you will at some point.
Yeah, I'm with you, because it's like, what in the world is going on? They won't understand. Someone without kids won't understand the demands and need, that you have with your child. They're footloose and fancy free unless they have some other responsibility. Let's say they are, guardian to their sister's kid or their brother's kids.
Right.
Then they could understand that responsibility. Maybe they're guardian to or caretaker, even if it's part-time, to a parent. Then they may understand. But if they have no attachments, and he's got a high-stress job, a risky job, and he's gone for, like, I don't know what his schedule is, but My grandfather was a firefighter, and they would be days on and days off.
They got to be at the firehouse.
He can't help me go pick up the kid. It's like, yo, I'm running late. Could you go? No, he can't because he's on duty.
I mean, her kid got a driver's license. At best, all he got to do is come through and know how to play PlayStation. So it's the whole her not being willing. First of all, she's not said that anybody said she can't have any more children. So I don't even know why I would make that such a, you know what I'm saying? She's putting it out there like this is what it is. You know, I understand her wanting to adopt, but Rose don't make sense. It's so funny how you can get like distracted by somebody's pleasant demeanor and, you know, beautiful smile.
Gorgeous. She is gorgeous from head to toe.
Yeah.
And the personality that we saw was wonderful until we hit with Fritz. And then we find out the father of her child is about to be released from incarceration. That did not connect with the vision I had of Rose.
Now, I thought he coming out too. I know the other girl, Kiara, I know her baby daddy about to come out.
In the highlights for the next half of the season, whenever we get it, Rose said that her son's father is about to be released from incarceration.
Even still, again, I think that makes a difference if your son is 6 years old versus 17 years old. Like it's, you know, that wouldn't scare me the same way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, I just need to know if the person still feels like they have a claim on you.
Well, he probably cheated because according to her, every man that she's ever been with has cheated.
Ooh, Rose. Every man?
Everyone she's ever been with has cheated.
Have they all been church-going men too?
Say that again.
Have they all been church-going men too?
It's a very, very important to her. So, you know, these are what's her top requirement, allegedly, according to her. I don't know. I feel like she said the word fairy tale. I'm going to have my fairy tale. I'm like, these fairy tales get you in trouble because I feel like she has a picture of what it's supposed to look like, her happily ever after. Wait till she finds out there's no such thing. So then what do you do when you're looking for, you know what I'm saying? Whatever this thing she has pictured in her head.
You wake up.
She ain't woke up yet. She's 38 now, girl. And I feel like these are two good guys. I don't find anything wrong necessarily with either one of them. She said, Cam asked her, what are the qualities that she's looking for in a man? And she says stability, communication, and trust. Well, you can't trust Cam because he was eyeballing Sahara. He really liked her.
Like, listen to me, Sahara. Listen.
And unfortunately for her, even though Hussein hasn't really been excited for anybody, he kind of is excited about Sahara a little bit from the very beginning.
That's rough.
I don't know that Rose is a good communicator. She said, at this point, I feel like on all these dating shows that communication has become like any other buzzword that they're always saying. They always talk about communicate. We need to communicate. I mean, communicating is screaming and hollering at each other. It's still communicating. It's like, what kind of communication, though, do you want between you and your partner?
Here's my question with her. It would be like, I don't think she's a good listener. That's
part of communicating, though, isn't it?
It's for me. It's more. Yes, she's saying some stuff, but Rose isn't listening, and I have a problem with that. She's talking like, a good game.
She's like, "Oh, you're not spiritual. That's okay. We're going to take care of that.
I'll get you there."
Rose says she never gives up. I don't know that that's a great combination. You don't listen and you never give up. So you going to make whatever this fairy tale that you have in your head out of whatever you dug out the garbage.
You sure right, whatever she dug out the garbage.
These are her words, not mine. These are a lot of, I wrote down some of the positive phrases that she uses. I never give up. I dust myself off and keep trying. I don't blame the next guy for what the last guy did. I just sew up my broken heart and keep fighting.
Why are we dusting off? Why are we dusting off and keep on going? Have we learned anything from the dust that we brushed off?
We have not.
Clearly.
And I don't believe that. I don't believe that you cannot go into the next relationship without taking away something that happened in the last one. That's just an untrue statement. Especially if all you've done is sew up your heart. Like when she didn't say like, I don't know, I did a lot of counseling at my church because that's where I go. I guess she go to church.
Now she she could be like me at Bedside Baptist. So but we gonna give her the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, she didn't mention that either. I'm just saying, where is you getting your counseling from? Because you can just sew up your heart, I suppose. But all of that mess is still inside there. And she's somebody who came from a situation where she was in a group home when she was 10 years old. Hey, hi, Vibe.
Hey.
She's 10. She said when she was 10 or 11 years old, their siblings, I don't know how many, but that's when she left the group home. Her parents got themselves together and,
But that's rough. I would like to dig deeper into that with her. Like, first she had to be removed from, some place that was not healthy for her and her siblings. Were they kept together in that group home? How long did it take the parents to get themselves together to reclaim them? That's a wonderful thing in itself that the parents got them back, because we know
turned around. Yeah.
Right, because I know a lot of people who parents tried and tried, but it's never good enough for the system for them to get their kids back. So my thing is, I wonder if that is enough for her to bond with Hussein, who had, a similar experience, but he aged out of foster care.
And so that too, like they were at different times in their life. Like I feel like when you're a little kid, you spend a lot of time in fantasy land. And so she's over here fantasizing about, princesses and things. You know what I mean? He went in when he was 13 years old. So that age, you're going through, puberty. So you're starting to keep your eye on people a little different. It's not the same.
That's rough too, going through puberty in a unstable, unsafe, environment.
Woo. And then he managed to get out and go to college still afterwards.
Right. Kudos to him.
Yeah.
And kudos to those who did assist him in that, because he said it was a coach and basketball was his way, along that path.
And he handles things in such a calm, even when Deanna was snapping on him, he was still like, "Hey, lady, I need you to relax."
Girl, what? Girl, that scene hit a little too close to home for me, because it's the same thing with my husband. He is that calm demeanor, and I'll be and he'll be like, "You wore yourself out yet? You good?" And he had a wonderful life in foster care. A pastor and his wife raised him, so he had a very safe, environment that helped him thrive. So, I can't imagine the hurdles that Hussein had to overcome and still have this calm demeanor.
Well, I mean, I guess he's seen a lot. I don't know that he didn't really. It made him emotional talking about it. So clearly, he said he's still affected by it. With Rose, I can tell because she's smiling and all she wants to do is love on this man. And I'm like, for what?
And have his babies.
Well, maybe they want to adopt.
Right, but that's not an option with Fritz.
And we don't know with Cam. Fritz is like, he's, you know, she went like, she took it like super personal when he said he's not, he would not, he would want to go ahead and have, you know, a surrogate if that was, you know, the case. And she, you know, that upset her a lot.
Well, thinking about it now, and I don't know if anyone who's watching too had an opportunity. Fritz had a in-person interview with Little Black Book 91.
I seen part of it. I have to go back and finish watching it.
In looking at that, I wonder, this is not to say it if it happened, I wonder based on her reaction, if they didn't edit out him kind of saying, you know, I would want someone, as you had pointed out before, who may be a little bit younger, who is able to carry my kids. You know what I'm saying? And I wonder if that is what made her have that kind of reaction. But the way it was sliced and diced, it acted like if she didn't want a surrogate, she didn't want that, you know, maybe his thing is, you know, the hurdles would be less with someone of a younger age. I wonder if that's what she lashed out at that we didn't get to see.
Did he say that?
He didn't say that, but when I get a kind of gist of a person on their interview and how they're speaking and how they're speaking about other things, we didn't see. I'm not saying he's a saint. He is by no means a saint, but I'm guessing that, and based on her visceral reaction, I'm wondering if there was a piece we missed. She could have misinterpreted something, but I'm thinking there's a piece we missed that caused her to lash out like that.
Well, I personally, he's even younger. I think Fritz is like, what,
Yes.
30, 31? He's even
Yes.
younger. So I personally don't feel like there's anything wrong with him saying that. Like,
Right.
you know, she's entering, you know, she's about to be 40. So, and she's got a child that's almost grown. So, girl, at 38, like, if you, the clock is ticking. I don't know that that's like a thing that really needs to happen for either one of these men, honestly, because Hussein has a child, and I've not heard him saying that he's just out here dying to have another one. He's up, you know, he's okay with it, but I didn't hear him say he has baby fever, and I feel like Cam probably really don't care one way or the other where he has one for real or not.
Right. I think Cam, you know, is connecting with, as he said, his extended family, his nieces and nephews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, you know, if it's important for a gentleman to have a child, and because she was accepting of adoption with Hussein and not so much with Fritz, I'm thinking it was something there that caused her to lash out at Fritz that we didn't see. That's the only reason. I don't want to put, because she hasn't lashed out at anybody else. I'm thinking there's just something we didn't see.
Well, who was she talking to when she was talking about the father? Because she kind of seemed a little spicy in that conversation.
Right. I don't know. That was a highlight.
So we didn't see who the conversation was with. I feel like
no.
We did. I just don't remember.
I don't remember. I don't feel we did, but maybe I just don't remember. I was too caught up in the incarceration of it all to remember who else is in the room.
Yeah, she got to, like, her neck start popping, and she got a little, you know, that smiling energy was not the same.
I was not feeling zen.
No, it wasn't giving zen Rose. The rose was exposing her thorns. I did notice this. I feel like Rose doesn't really want to compromise in terms of what the other person wants necessarily. Like this man, Cam, is required to get spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Now, he told her, listen, I'm not trying to change you. I want you to be like whoever you are. That's not, you know, but is she giving him the same grace? How do you like compromise on your spirituality?
I don't know. I mean, you could compromise in the sense of, you know, where the person is trying to go on their journey and you're going to be there with them on that journey. But, you know, it's a whole lot involved in there, including, you know, home churches, denominations, and I don't know how you compromise on your spirituality. And I don't know what she means. We don't get a sense. What does it mean, her spirituality? does she have a particular faith, or is she talking just about a relationship with God? I have so many questions with that with Rose.
I feel like that kind of always, because she's like got kind of these traditional values. It's giving Christianity, you know what I'm saying? Although she's not saying, but you know, they throw this word spiritual around, and I feel like it's so unnecessary. I know, again, like one of my things was I'm not dating any men with any children, and I also wasn't gonna date somebody that was gonna be in church. I don't want no deacons or none of that stuff because I'm not going. Thing one, and thing two, we probably don't live the same lifestyle. If I want to have wine and things, I don't need you trying to, you know, keep me from being who I am.
Trying to turn that wine back to water.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I agree with you. Oh, and then too, it's not just what you're saying. Anyone in the church or has a job in the church or a title, there are demands on their time outside of, you know, what they do at church. So I'm not for, you know, the needs of the church. Somebody calling them at 2, 3 in the morning. You know, I would not be happy about those kinds of things.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Now we got an issue here at the house.
Right.
But
right.
I feel like those are things though that you accept. You know what I'm saying? Going into it. So I'm like, I don't know how you compromise. I know there's a lot of people that'll cross over, change their religion. It's one thing to stay within the Christian, you know, blanket. But if you're like, well, my husband's Jewish, so I changed over. And I'm like, how do you do that? You just changed your whole belief system?
Yeah, that it's got to resonate with you. And you know, as you said, because she keeps saying spiritual, and I don't hear her say Christian that often. I just don't know where
her spirituality lies. I mean, this other girl, Sahara, is spiritual. She got candles and things, and so
she burning things.
I mean, I thought this was interesting. I found this clip of Hussein having a conversation with Diana, and I just wanted to play this right quick, and then we'll talk about what he said.
Just always how to see their side. What about you?
When it comes to like deal breakers for you,
I think the biggest one is just like somebody that's selfish in a relationship. Just always how to see their side. What about you?
So his deal breaker is someone who is selfish in the relationship and only sees their side of things. And I feel like Rose has not really been up to compromise, not yet.
I was just about to say that Rose seems very selfish in the relationship, what she wants. And the only partner I see, she kind of, she compromising by even accepting Cam, but you know, she compromising or is she lying to herself? I think it's more lying to herself in the few areas.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hey Jay, I saw you over there. She's definitely lying to herself. And again, as much as, listen, when I look at Fritz and his little games and things, I chalk it up to like he just got to the 30s. I wouldn't even be taking him seriously. He'll either grow up or he won't. But I think he's very valid in saying I would want to have my own child. And because surrogacy is an option, what's wrong with that?
I wonder if you're playing games with us, Rhonda, okay? Because this habit thing with Rose, all I keep seeing is sister act. I wonder if it's just an act and she's going to drag this off and she is actually a Vegas showgirl. I mean...
Listen, my man was like, you need to get a video from Sister Act. Like...
Great minds. That's all I'm saying.
So he'll be happy to know that him and you had the same idea.
I think it may be the nose ring with it too. I think that's where we're having a disconnect. But all I could see is just her taking it off and her natural hair just bouncing out, and she just, you know, giving us a good old show because she is giving us a show. She's only
giving us a show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rose, I don't know what you expect from us, but we're not getting a lot from you, and maybe we'll give you the benefit of doubt that production is just hiding it from us.
Well, I mean, like I said, she's not like wild and crazy and coming out with this thing, you know what I'm saying? Except for the whole, well, I would love to be married and have a happily ever after, and that's my life's goal. And the thing about digging in the trash, that's pretty much the only problematic thing that you see from her. Um, there was some tension in the ladies' lounge, so in the vault. So we don't really see Rose because when she came through, they were all hey, hey, hey. The only person with the same connection as her is Sahara. So I haven't seen any connections there with her either, which is strange to me because she's a hairdresser.
What do you mean, strange with Sahara?
No, I can see why they probably wouldn't get along. Not get along, but not buddy up with each other. Because why am I buddying up with you? Both of we have the same connection. But in the vault, usually the ladies like form, I don't want to say alliances,
cliques,
but some types of friendships. Like we're here. You know what I mean?
Cliques. They form cliques.
Yeah, I don't see her clicking.
I don't see her clicking either, but it could be that because I don't know why Rose isn't clicking with anyone. But we could just be
like Rose by herself and everybody else.
I wonder if Rose just wants to have her own journey and she didn't come here to make friends. She'll be like me. I didn't come here to make girlfriends. Y'all are nice and sweet or whatever, but I don't need to click up. The only people I really need to be talking to are the men, and I need to listen to what y'all saying about them.
Well, I'm not mad at that, I guess. It's just interesting how this is the first time I think I don't really see any of these people, honestly, the guys, maybe.
We don't
I feel
see
like that says a lot about because Rose just comes across so nurturing with everyone.
We don't see much about her either in the ladies' lounge when they're picking top and bottom.
Well, I will say the first time Cam was at her bottom.
Right.
He was her bottom connection and then straight to the top. And nothing has changed. Cam has said nothing different than he did the very first time she met him.
Well, he did pray over the food. That may have changed it.
Come on. Come on, that can't be it.
It shouldn't be it, but he I think he got the date of giving somebody a second look or whatever. Yeah, but she can't control the date she's put on either, as we know with the show.
Right. But, that's why I was saying with her and Hussein in the beginning, if we can't decide when we go on dates and they had such a connection in the beginning, then why aren't we communicating anymore? Somewhat text messages, but she has been laser focused on Cam, the one who's not anything right. Like he ain't trying to get married. He's down for whatever. She said, do you think the Lord is, his savior or something like that? And he was like, it's whatever. No, she said, do you believe that prayer changes things? And he said, well, whatever you want to call it. I think Rose is full of it. I do.
I agree with you. I think she is. I agree with you. Totally. It's just like you're saying, I don't think she knows who she is and what she wants.
Jay said she focused on muscles. Maybe.
That ain't hard to focus on now.
You mean with Cam? I mean, he's got the whole fireman thing. Like, I get that. I would feel better if she said that. But I feel like we've seen a lot of dates with just those two. I mean, a lot of interaction with just those two. But she's not really revealing anything about herself. It's all like, I pour into my man. That's what she said. And that's what she does. But she's not listening.
Not at all.
So then what makes you ready to love? Another one
That's
of
my
these. Go ahead.
that's my question would be, what is the, ready to love? My thing is, for ready to love for me is you're ready to exclusively date the people. You're not ready for, marriage or whatever. I think you're ready to, have build a relationship with the person. So I think Rose is because her son, as you said, is 17 and he is partially grown and kind of, at the house. I think she probably thinks she's at a point in her career and in her life that she's ready to focus on a romantic love. So maybe that's where she thinks it is.
Yeah, but you got to undo the baggage. And if you can sit up there and say, like, every man that I have been with cheated on me, I don't know what that number is. And I mean, you can chalk it up to whatever.
Mm,
But then why are you fighting so hard? I'm never going to give up. She doesn't, I don't know. She doesn't speak in a way that's realistic to me. None of it sounds like, you know what I mean? Like, are you
right.
ready? It don't seem like it because you don't address any of the things like that. You haven't even made a clear idea of what this man is that you're supposed to be happily ever after with, because you're looking at somebody who's nothing like what what you said you wanted.
Exactly. Exactly. And how do you get there? How do you get there to a man that's not what you wanted?
I'm gonna have to go with Jay. She's looking at the muscles.
I want muscles.
She was ready to get her freak on. You can do that. You don't have to come all the way over here for that. My thing is this: if I'm gonna go on a show like this, then I need to have something to promote on the other side. You know what I'm saying? I need to have a business or something, because why am I here? I'm going to come over here and be ready to love for real, or I'm going to come over here and play a game for absolutely no reason. I don't know she's supposed to have a beard oil. I ain't seen it. She's a hairstylist. I don't know, her salon. What's the other one from last season?
She also is into interior design.
I ain't seen it. I looked for Rose, and then some people, like with social media, you don't necessarily need it. You know what I mean? So I get why some people don't have it, but she's a hairstylist. So if it's there, I wouldn't want to see, you know what I'm saying? Do you have
Right.
the girls just selling the darn waistband? What do you call them? Things.
Waist trainers.
Waist trainer. You can find her. You know what I mean? So I'm like, Rose, you actually have something to promote. I don't see it. So are you for real? Like, her LinkedIn says nothing about hairstylists.
Mm.
Which that's on them, but I hate when they don't match. What their things don't match.
So you're further letting us know that Rose is hiding under this habit.
Jay, are you coming up here, or are you just hanging out? She's like me in the car. I would love to hear her opinion.
Yes. Yeah, Rose is hiding under that habit. We don't know the full scope of Rose, even on social media.
I think that's weird. I think that's strange. And then I was like, am I like judging because she doesn't have social media? Because not everybody does. And I feel like, but if you have something to promote, it don't even seem like good business to me.
Right. The thing is, she does have something to promote. We just came off of other reality show where the young lady is a hairdresser, and she's booked and busy right now because she kept on promoting it. She has her social media up. She's taking appointments.
The one from last season that had the blonde hair, I can't remember her name now. Is that who you're talking about?
No, I was talking about also recently Carla from Married at First Sight Chicago.
Okay.
She's doing a lot of other other items. So it's like most folks in a service industry, they are looking to promote their brand when they come here. Look at oh gosh, I forgot his name. Now that I stopped wearing the top knot in his honor. The other gentleman on this show,
Well, Naeem.
Naeem, yes.
Yes.
We use his gym, and they got his smoothies from his, for smoothie location. So again, promote yourself.
I don't know. It seems like she's hiding. I don't know a hairstylist nowhere that don't have a page. I see like people in their kitchen taking pictures of the braids they did. You know what I'm saying? Trying to.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know about Rose. I don't know about Rose.
I don't know either. I don't know either. It's giving like you're in hiding. Why? But why?
I don't know if it's hiding or just used to pretending. You know, when she said that about her how she grew up, I mean, maybe these are things that you never really outgrow.
Well, you're right. It could be used to pretending everything's all right when it's not.
It's not.
And that's a sad thing. Oh, that's so sad to me.
So then you're definitely not ready. I don't understand hiding simple things. You cannot like go on a TV show. First of all, dating is awkward just in general. Just as regular folks out in the dating world is very strange. Let's bring Jay up. What up, though?
Yeah.
I feel like I should have put his picture up here because, he had a lot of influence on, my opinion of Rose based on, what she said about him.
Unfortunately, I feel like I can't contribute much because I forgot about these people already. Blame on.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I got to refresh my memory on some of the shenanigans that Rose is up to besides the religion thing.
Well, that's what we were saying. We were saying basically Rose shows up with a smile on her face and it's very pleasant demeanor. And she really is not sharing anything. She's, giving us this very holy spiritual girl. We don't know what the spirit is. We don't know how it moves her, but it keeps moving her to the garbage to find a diamond.
Sometimes people throw away gems. You just, you gotta see if you polish it off. Some people's trash is other people's treasures. That's what Rose said. All right, y'all gotta work with that.
That's what she said.
Yeah. I don't know what thoughts y'all want me to have on this lady. Let me think. I like where y'all was going on the last statement, though, about her having to pretend like everything is all right. If you tell me that everybody that you have ever dated has cheated on you, that means that you do a lot of pretending like everything is cool.
Everything
when
is
the person is telling you it's not. The person, I mean, like, people love to act like people don't give you signs of them cheating on you sometimes. Some people don't. Some people are habitual cheaters. That's what they're going to do. You may never pick up or whatever. But a lot of times you could tell a person before they even cheat on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a lot of male friends, and they would just, like, explain how much neglect that they are going through in some of their relationships that they ladies don't even pick up. Like, you know what I'm saying? You reach into a hug or whatever stuff and she turning away. You trying to do this for her and all, she got an attitude about all this stuff like that and stuff. And then sometimes they get to the point they'll be like, you just might as well go find somebody that wants to do those things that you want to do. And it ain't even like super freaky things. It's just like, if you want all of that affection, that love, all that stuff, and you need to go find somebody, it's like you're pushing the man out to cheat. Rose gives me that energy. Like, she actually pushes her man out. And instead of him just being an all-out man and be like, okay, I'm done with this relationship, let me find something more suitable, is I'm going to hold on to you, but she's already given me a green light to go do whatever I'm going to do, so I'm going to go do it. And then when he comes back home, she'll pretend like, oh, it never happens, because like in the L. Sid's book, you cheat on her, you basically out the door. You ain't no cheat. you go.
No, this lady says she's never giving up. She's never giving up.
So at some point, it's you, ma'am. You got to ask yourself, why are you holding on to a man that's telling you he don't want you anymore?
Or not listening, like from the very beginning, like we were talking about with Cam. He's been telling her from the very beginning, like not playing no games. He's been very honest about where he is with things. And she's just kind of brushing past it. And it's cool. Oh my God. He said prayers over the oysters. That means he has my back. Actually, he didn't. He held her hand while she did the prayer. I don't know. I just don't feel like you always can just, I just dust myself off and keep on going. That's her answer for things. And I think that's bullshit.
She is as you say, she focusing on the muscles and whatever. Jay, you said that. And Rondé, like, why is she here? She can't go, she can't go full throttle if she is clinging to the spirituality as well. So it's screaming to me, I gotta make it look good because I done said spirituality, but I do look at the muscles and want to get a freak on. I think Rose is confused. And this ain't the place for confusion if you're really looking for love.
Well, then too, like you said, the man, the father of the kid is incarcerated. So where are you looking? Like, I feel like if you're that spiritual, shouldn't you be like down to Bible study or somewhere looking for somebody that's like on the same page as you?
How long is the father of the kid incarcerated? You know what I'm saying? Like, how, if you saying the son is 17 and you haven't moved on from this father of the son, you're waiting for him to get out. So everybody's just basically a placeholder. No wonder if that's the case, no wonder they're cheating on you because they have an open door. Like you're cheating on them with your heart. Like your heart belongs to somebody else. They can't compete with that. Huh?
I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to hear the tea about her and the father. But like I said, the son is grown now. So you know what I'm saying? He's not coming home to his small child like the other girl.
I want to know when her last relationship was, like her actual last relationship.
Or were those relationships? She said everybody that I've been with.
There's that.
Sometimes you be going with somebody and they don't be going with you.
Or are they going with somebody that's already going with somebody? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So technically, they didn't cheat on you. They were cheating on a partner with you. It's a difference. That was pretty today.
Or technically, if she the one cheating, if she's still hooked to the incarcerated father of her child.
Everybody just cheat.
Well, we ain't got no babies, so there's that. Not yet.
I mean, I asked the question about the last relationship or whatever because it's like maybe this whole time you've been investing most of your stock into your son or whatever, and I could see that being a thing or whatever. And now that you're possibly about to be an empty nester, you're out here trying to find anything. And like a lot of times, if you haven't dated in a while, your hormones gonna kick in and it's gonna blind you from something that is more better fit for you, like muscles. Like you're gonna start looking at muscles and stuff like that instead of just looking at a person and saying, "Hey, you line up better with me. We have all of these similarities. You're into the same thing I'm into. You're not pressed about having kids because you guess what? You have a kid or whatever stuff like that. Religion wise, we might match up. I don't really know yet and stuff. We could talk about it. Versus you ain't got nothing going but for you but these muscles. And when it comes to me,
it's crazy because I didn't hear the conversation between her and Hussein about her spirituality, but he seems like the type of guy that would be open to it. Just based on what he's been through.
Yeah, he might be open to it, but you haven't had we haven't seen the conversation. We've seen it about, their, similarities growing up, and we've seen it with their, how they wish to possibly have future children. But the spirituality conversation I have not seen with him.
That's because she gets in these dates and she turns the conversation in a way where they're doing all the talking about them and what they want and what they need, and she's not offering a whole lot about herself. They were saying the other girls surface. Rose is kind of surface too. She's not giving up much besides smiles and cute phrases. Well, moving into the next half, these are her options. So I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And it's crazy that, I would want either one of these two to invest too much time into Rose. That's unfortunate. I hate to say it like that, but I feel like Rose has a lot going on with Rose and she doesn't know at all what she wants. I think she needs to figure that out. And you're right, Jay. Maybe she have been spending all her time like focusing on her son because there's not other children. Like she's raised this kid as an only child for the most part. So, maybe that is where all her energy was going. I don't know. Adoption versus surrogacy. I
That's
wonder why.
another puzzle to me.
I
That
wonder
damn
why.
adoption versus surrogacy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jay.
I was like, that's just another puzzle to me, that damn adoption versus surrogacy. And I know people try to explain it to me 1,000 times or whatever and stuff like that, but you don't want somebody else carrying your seed because of attachment, but you would prefer to take somebody else's completely separate DNA from you over that.
And rob your partner who's never had any children yet of having his own.
Yeah, I mean, it would have made more sense if you would have just been like, I know how it feels to be adopted or in foster care. So, I know I have one of my own. I would like to have one, and I prefer somebody that has a kid so we can do this venture together. Some story like that or whatever, but just to completely dismiss surrogacy. Like, no, because I don't want that person to get attached to my child or whatever. It's like, say what? Like the person that adopts, unless you go through a certain route of adoption, they some places they still have the right to come get their child back.
They can come back, change their mind. And that in itself,
like only closed adoptions. Yeah, only closed adoptions, they opting out because they don't want to be found. But they can still come back. And at the end of the day, the court is going to allot the biological mother or father their child.
So that's just another one of her statements that don't make sense. And she's the one that brought it up. She's going through all these dates saying, I had miscarriages. And so, it's almost like a setup to be like, nope. So why are you dating men who don't have children? If that's how you feel, you should not be going out with anybody who doesn't have kids of their own.
Preach, because why is it that it seems like, the surrogate, is carrying the child, with half the DNA would be of your partner. And it seems like you have, or not you, but it seems like Rose has a deflection, or she is abhorrent of the fact that this is, going to be somebody else's child with her partner. I wonder if that's where she's coming from with it. But still, if you're going to adopt, you don't know the genetics of this child and you're willing to accept. But here you are knowing full well, fully informed, and you're not willing to accept. That's a disconnect unless she's like, that's my partner's child with somebody else. Is it triggering her whole trauma with being cheated on?
Maybe because that energy was like she approached that with disdain, like not doing it. I'm not gonna do that. Like,
Or is it because the women have been gossiping about Fritz and the poly thing? So she's just assuming, like you saying, Elle said, that he gonna sleep with somebody else. It's like that's not really how surrogacy work. Like the word surrogacy implies that this person is literally having a baby with knowledge of giving it up to you. I'm just a carrier. I'm not sleeping with your man. I'm not doing none of that stuff like that. That baby is being artificially implanted into me already as a full embryo.
Right, and it could be somebody else's genetic with your person, and it being raised by the surrogate, being carried by the surrogate.
I mean, if that's her attitude, she should just be like, I'm not having no more kids. Because
that would have been a better answer.
That don't even make sense. You don't make sense. The adopted baby is carried by somebody else too. It's either way, you won't be carrying it. What? I don't get it.
I don't get the scent of this flower. Sorry.
I don't think it's that innocent. That's for sure. I don't know. I would say sometimes you got to for sure like pay attention to what's behind the smile, because Rose, like I said, has come over here with this very positive, nurturing attitude towards the men only. That's why I said that, because generally, like if you're that kind of person and you just be loving on everybody, you just kind of are. And you'll get the girls who will say stuff like, she's the mother of the group. She's always like bringing us snacks and things, but she doesn't seem.
Wait, did I miss something? She had something with the group women? What did I miss?
No, I'm just saying, like, for her type of personality, because Rose is just always so perky and pleasant and smiling. And, I don't see no bonds in there either amongst the women. I don't know, if any of them have bonded necessarily.
Man, all these have us feeling like it's every man for themselves, or should I say women for themselves at the men still. So,
and none of them are connected to anybody. Well, that's all I got on Rose. I do kind of get a different perspective when I take everybody else out the scenario and just really focus on, what each individual was saying. I hate to be like, man, Rose, you're full of it. And I didn't see it. Do y'all have anything on Miss Rose?
Until Rose be honest with herself or whatever and stuff, she gonna keep finding men that's gonna keep cheating on her. And I mean, if you have that outlook, it's like when when you get ready to buy a car, you bought the car. Nobody got that car until you bought it. And all of a sudden everybody got that car. So that's just like how your mind works. If you think a person is gonna cheat on you every time you enter a relationship, guess what? 9 times out of 10, they're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Because even if they didn't want to, you're going to end up pushing them to it, because you're going to be accusing them of doing it so much. They're going to say, you know what, I might as well. I'm already being accused. I might as well go do it. So she needs to change. First of all, change that mindset. Stop telling that story of every man I've been with cheated on me. That's crazy. There's something wrong with you, ma'am. Figure out what that is about you then. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're batting 100, 1,000 at this point in that department. You need to figure out what's wrong with you, why every man that you encounter decides that I can play with her in this manner. That's 1. 2, you need to figure out what's more important, your guy or the dude you trying to sleep with. Because if you sitting here just taking anybody off the street who is just saying amen at the end of your sentence, then we got a problem. Because if religion is really that big of a deal to you, you should be actually trying to find somebody that aligns with that. There's no ifs, ands, and buts when it comes to God. And then I mean, most divorces is between financial and religion. Like, let's be honest. Like, that's gonna be a whole divide in the house. Like it's hard for a Christian and a Jehovah's Witness to be in the house together. One is trying to celebrate Christmas and the other one is not. You know what I'm saying? It's like this just does not work like that. So whatever your religion is, you should be trying to find somebody that's aligned to it. And three, look, if you just own this show to sleep with some men, you know, go ahead and promote your stuff while you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Get you a little rock star and go ahead and promote your business now. Look, be smart about this, man.
I would definitely have respect for that. I would be like, okay, I get it. We're not even getting that. So, Elsid, what you got on Rose?
You know, Jay tied it up nicely in a bow. I just need to see what else is happening with Rose. We see so little of her, but we got so much information about her, and it seems like we're going further down the rabbit hole with Rose. And I just need to see how is she choosing these men, because right now with the two in front of us, at least with Cam, that's a choice she should not be making, and he was quite honest with her. So Rose seems to be lying to herself.
And see, we shouldn't get in the habit of doing that either, because I feel like there are good guys out there, and you cannot pick a man, pursue a man who is being honest with you, and then turn around and say, this is what he told me, and we were supposed to do this, when he definitely didn't say any of those things. I feel like Rose is, you know, maybe she needs to take a look into herself. She's 38, maybe 39 at this point, entering in her 40s. Her son is grown. She should probably take a minute, like you said, and figure out what it is she wants. Get out of the fantasy, get out of the fairy tale. There is no such thing as happily ever after. I feel like happiness happens in moments. You have to appreciate the moments, but you know, the picture that you're painting, like it doesn't exist. I don't know what that picture is. And so I guess until the summertime comes, you know, I guess I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll try my best to not have any types of issues. What is tomorrow? Never Ever Mets? Yes. So we'll be over on Jay's channel tomorrow with the Never Ever Mets. What you got this weekend, Sid?
Well, this weekend, on Sunday at noon, EST, I'm going to be doing a live kind of discussion recap of Love is Blind Mexico until a new season, which I believe Love is Blind France is coming up next. I kind of going back through the previous seasons that I've recapped and do a live for them. Now that I've gotten my footing with doing lives and stuff. So that's what I'm doing. And I may be doing the whole Reddit advice column section. Not sure how that's going to go.
Wait, say that again. The Reddit advice column section.
Yeah, a few folks have sent me DMs on Instagram to consider doing the Reddit advice. I put a poll up on my channel, Elsid932, and you know, I've only gotten a couple, but yeah, I've gotten messages. I should do the Reddit relationship feedback, and yeah, and don't be too polite, but don't be too mean to folks.
Wow, that sounds interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Does Love is Blind, like, do they like finish one country and then move on to the next one, or they just have simultaneous, you know, countries going at the same time?
The international version, depending on where they are, they have one studio that they film out of for the European group, and there's one studio they film out of for the Central and South American group. But right now, France is done. So they are probably in post-production, and Italy is filming. So I know Italy will probably be at the end of this year.
I need to do better keeping up in the background. All right, y'all. Like I said, we will be over at another round tomorrow after the Never Ever Mets. And since we're here to, you know, find out if we're ready to love, we're going to say goodbye with a little bit of, what's her name? Keisha Cole. See y'all on the next one.
I found love, never knew what I was start kissing, I